The next restaurant I'm reviewing is Folks Pizzeria in Costa Mesa, California. Folks Pizza is located at the Camp, which is an anti-mall. Before doing this review, I was trying to do a little bit of research to find out more about Folks and where their food comes from or their inspirations come from, and there's almost no information online about their thought process when developing the menu or coming up with the recipes. On their website, they do say that the founders are partners in business and partners in life. They wanted to make a cool hangout spot, which I think they did. They did accomplish that. It's a really small location, and a lot of it's patio seating. The pizza's phenomenal. I mean, you're talking about $25 to $30 pizzas, but you could tell the dough is made in-house from scratch. It's the thickest dough I've ever seen on a pizza, and it has a seasoning on it that's just it's just unmatched. And the cheese they use, all the different cheeses. I mean, you can get obviously they have like a marguerite, burrata, gorgonzola, pecorino, mozzarella. I mean, they have all different, for different pizzas, they have different cheeses, but all the cheeses are fresh and they're imported from Italy. You can tell, you can taste the difference. The sauce is amazing. Their pizza sauce is so good. They put seasoning on top of the pizza after they're done, and all the meats they use are, again, high quality meats. These aren't like Domino's or Subway cold cuts that they're throwing on top of pizzas and throwing them in the oven. These are high quality proteins, and you can tell when you eat them, the flavor is just there. It's amazing. It's the best pepperoni I've ever had, and they put a seasoning on top of the pizza after they're done cooking it. It's phenomenal. I've had the pepperoni pizza. I've had the marguerite pizza. I've had their Bianca pizza. I've had their fennel pizza and their sausage pizza. All of the pizzas I've had there are probably my favorite pizzas I've had in Southern California. They also have other dishes. They have appetizers. They have salads. I've had their Caesar salad, which is pretty good. The Caesar dressing is made in-house from scratch. They give you marinated anchovies which I like. It has a fresh pecorino and real pecorino. It's like aged 24 months. You can taste the difference there. They also have like a meatball. They have chicken wings. Or chicken wings are good. But their pizza's for sure what stands out. I mean, I would almost recommend just ordering nothing but pizza when you go there. So in my personal opinion, Folks Pizzeria has the best pizza in Southern California, at least from my experience. The only better pizza I've ever had was in New York. And it's one spot that I went to one time that was really hard to get into. And this place doesn't rival it because they're not the same type of pizza, but this pizza is just so good that even the pizzas I thought were really good before this pizza now don't pale in comparison, and it's kind of ruined those pizzas for me. So if I really want a really good pizza, I have to go to Folks. And there's a couple issues with that. So let's get into the numbers. So for service and culture, I give Folks a 3 out of 5. Honestly, their service is fine. It's check the box service, hi, how's it going? What can I get for you? Do you have any questions? I mean, I've never had a problem with their service. When I sat in the restaurant, they're friendly, nothing outside the ordinary. The problem is their to-go situations. They are a very small restaurant, so it's ideal to get their food to go. Especially since it's pizza. And they have a first come, first serve policy, which means if the restaurant is full or at capacity, or if it's just too busy in the kitchen, they won't take to-go orders. And then if you go there and ask for a to-go order, you can't get one. It can be frustrating if you're really trying to eat that pizza that night, if you're trying to eat Folks that night. And you call, you have to call back. Right now, we're not taking to-go orders. And you call back, we're not taking to-go orders right now. And then you call back, and sometimes they're not taking to-go orders for the whole night. Or the first time I actually went to Folks, it was really cold out, and we sat out on the patio, and it was freezing. And I told my fiance, why don't we just get this to go? Because we live right down the street. So she said, okay. So when the server came out, I said, we're just going to get a couple pizzas to go. And she was like, I have to ask the kitchen, which I thought was so weird. I'm like, well, I'm here. If I just order the pizza and then put it in a box and pay the bills, and that's the same thing, it was kind of confusing to me. But she was very nice, and she helped us out, and she got it to go. But I thought that was really weird. And then I found out later on they have this policy where, it's like first come, first serve. And it's I understand. It's because the kitchen's too small, and they can only output so many pizzas. But they've been open since 2019 now. Every time I go there, the restaurant's full. If I ever get to-go orders, there's people waiting there for their to-go orders. So they get a lot of business from to-go. So I would think that by this time they would have found another solution, maybe opening up another kitchen close by where they just do to-go orders, or I don't know why they haven't solved that problem yet. But I'm not saying it's necessarily a negative thing, but I can't give them points for service because it's just the service just kind of isn't there. But the thing with Folks is they have such a good product that they don't need over the top extraordinary service because they have, in my opinion, the best pizza I've had so far in Southern California. And I hate to admit that I've eaten a lot of pizza in Southern California. So they have the best pizza, so I'm going back there. Even though I don't like the way they do their first come, first serve, and it could be frustrating to try and get a to-go order there, I'll go back. I don't have a problem with it. It's good. So that brings me to food and drinks. Food and drinks, I give them a 5 out of 5. Like I said, it's the best pizza. I've only had their Caesar salad and wings outside of that. The wings were good. They're fine. They weren't amazing, but they're still good. For ambiance and vibe, I give it a 2 out of 5. I mean, you'd have to go there, but literally it's a small restaurant with just basically 2 tops and, 2 tops pushed together to make 4 tops. But for the price point, it's kind of doesn't match the price point, because you're paying, like I said, $25 to $30 for a pizza. All their appetizers and salads are like $15 and $20. Their drinks are up there. So it could be an expensive dinner, especially for pizza. Overall, I give it a 10 out of 15. That's low, but that is also because really just their only strong suit and saving grace is their food. And that's the thing, is if they ever slip up on their food, if they ever change the recipe, if they ever, decide to go cheaper or sell to a company that's going to try and cut corners on their recipe, then the restaurant will fail. Because the only thing holding up that restaurant, in my opinion, is their food. And that's not a bad thing, but it's also, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to increase sales with a pretty easy fix and a pretty easy road. It's a visible road. You have a lot of to-go orders to a point where you have your poor hostess having to constantly answer the phone and tell people no. I'm pretty polite, but I'm sure there's people that get frustrated by it, especially, you ask, when can I call back to get places to go order? We don't know. So that's frustrating. And the restaurant's so small. They can only turn so many tables a night. So they're really capping out what they're making. And I guess if they're just happy with that, that's cool. But I just don't see, when you have a product that's selling in high demand, why you wouldn't find ways to increase your revenue through answering the call. Maybe it's in the works. Who knows? Listen, I stand by their food. If you want the best pizza and you're willing to put up with a little bit of frustration, then go to Folks Pizzeria and try one of their pizzas.